Hello, I'm Becky Howie at Moving Pictures, and today we're going to focus on foundation coverage. I'm going to be doing a nice medium coverage on Abby today, focusing on covering any redness, blemishes, and create a nice even tone. So I'm going to start by putting a small amount of product on the back of my hand. When using a product that says it's fuller coverage, always remember to start by using a very small amount of product first, and then going from there to see if you need any more. So I always mix tones in my kit to create a perfect shade for my client. Obviously, I would recommend to get colour matched to the right shade for you. So I'm just making sure I get the nice tone. With foundation, it's always important to start in the centre of the face and then blend outwards. The centre of the face and T-zone area is usually where you require a little bit more coverage because you are prone to more redness around that area. And we've already prepped Abby's skin, so we don't need to worry about going in with any other formulas. So I'm just doing very light circular motions on Abby with a really nice fluffy brush. Abby's skin definitely has more of a darker tone on the outside of her face, so I'm replicating that with the foundation and building that through from the centre, working outwards. We will be adding a little bit of a highlight with a concealer at the end, just to brighten the centre of the face as well. But you can see from starting in the centre of the face, that's where we have the most coverage, and then I've just blended the rest outwards. So there's very little product on the outside of Abby's face. So I'm avoiding going close to the eye. I'm literally just patting towards the eye. We don't want much product around the eye area. That area should just be filled concealer. The reason for this is most foundations have SPF in the formulas, and it's best to avoid using any SPF around the eye area because it can add sensitivity in that area. So I'm literally just patting through. When you pat the brush, you do add a little bit more coverage. It's kind of stamping that product in, whereas if you want a very light coverage, always just swipe the brush across. Abby definitely doesn't need much coverage on her forehead, so I don't need to worry too much about patting. So I'm currently just focusing on this side so you can see the difference of adding a bit more coverage to the skin. I would say Abby's main area is her nose, where she just needs a little bit more coverage just because it is a little bit more pink. But everywhere else she's got a really lovely flawless complexion. And it's always really important, especially during the summer months, to have a little look around the neck area. Abby definitely has more colour on the side of her neck, but she's definitely fairer here where her chin's probably blocked the sun. So always focus on blending down to create a nice even effect from the chin area down, and make sure everything blends. And I'm literally just using what's left on the brush to do this. I'm not adding extra product. You definitely don't want a heavy effect around that area. So if you open for me. So as you can see, it's just a lot more even. We've taken away any redness around this area and around the nose area. Now I'm going to go over the concealer, just to brighten that little bit more around Abby's eye. And I'm using a really soft, fluffy brush for this again. The key, like with the foundation, is to start with a small amount of product first and then build up if you need it. So I always start on the darkest point around the eye first and then blend upwards. The reason for this is you definitely don't want to cake too much product close to the eye area. You always want to add that extra coverage where you're darkest. It would help if my brush didn't melt. So I'm just patting where Abby needs a little bit more coverage and then blending out. And I always add a little bit of concealer to brighten the top of the cheekbone, because then that will also help to increase the lift of the eye. Now, with hardly any product left on my brush, I'm just lightly buffing through around the skin, making sure there's no excess product left. We just want to blend it all in. You look up for me. And we're just going to pat gently around the eye area with any product around there, just to make sure it's blended and settled in the skin. The eye area is the most likely area to crease on the face, so it's really important to not overload the skin and keep it nice and fresh. So if you are worried you may have applied too much product, always use your ring finger and lightly press just around the eye area. And what this will do is, one, take off any excess product, but it also helps to push the product into the skin, so it really does set the concealer nicely around the eye, so you get a little bit more of a flawless effect. So there we go. So we've just created a really nice natural medium coverage on Abby, given a nice brightness around the eye as well, and a nice lift along the cheekbone, so it's nice and fresh, and it's completed the look. So I'm Becky Howie at Moving Pictures, and I'll see you soon.